Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex and his girlfriend have family time with my son? Am I the a-hole for demanding my sister's husband to pay for my girlfriend's dress that he ruined at his wedding? Am I the a-hole for not following my husband's new religious beliefs?
Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started.
Am I the a-hole for not letting my ex and his girlfriend have family time with my son? Every year, I take my son to visit his great-grandparents. Usually, his dad, my ex, will be there too during the trip, and they'll spend a lot of alone time together since my ex doesn't see our son as often as I do. The only difference this year is that this time, he brought his girlfriend with him. The trip has been a disaster. The first week we were here, my ex wanted to take my son out sailing. His girlfriend went with them. They came back early, and my son was crying so hard, he threw up. When I asked my ex what happened, he told me he didn't know and that our son kept asking for me, and he told him they would see me when they got home. And he just started crying and wouldn't stop. Since my son has refused to go out anywhere with his dad unless I go too. He won't even stay in the same room as anyone else unless I'm there. I've tried talking to him, but it hasn't helped me understand his behavior. Yesterday, his girlfriend pulled me aside and told me I needed to give them space to have some family time and that she really wanted my son to like her because my ex made it clear if he doesn't, their relationship wouldn't last. I told her I wouldn't force my son to go alone with them, and she said she understood I was overprotective, but that I needed to let his dad have time with him without me hovering. She kept asking me, and I finally got annoyed and told her to tell my ex to talk to me if he had a problem. She basically told me that he was my ex's son too, and that she knew it must be hard for me to see him move on. But that I was being selfish and acting jealous. She's been giving me dirty looks ever since. Am I the a-hole? Story 2. Am I the a-hole for demanding my sister's husband to pay for my girlfriend's dress that he ruined at his wedding? My 23 male sister, 26 female, recently got married to one of those it's just a prank bro guys. The guy is hysterical. He laughs at any and everything that he lays eyes on. He jokes, teases, makes fun, and pulls very, very nasty and cruel pranks all the time. It's like he has no filter. Some said he's mentally ill, especially after he started telling jokes at his own father's funeral and almost caused my sister to get injured from his count the stairs prank. Me and the family got our fair share of his ridiculous pranking campaign, and we've had enough, but to him, it's not enough, apparently. The kids love him and say he's fun, so that's one positive thing about him. The wedding was days ago. Once he learned I was bringing my girlfriend, who he teased or pranked a couple of times, he started making comments about pulling some funny pranks at the wedding. I told him I won't react well and he can do with this info what he will. He just laughed at me of ha 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 type of laugh. Then I didn't see him till the wedding. After the ceremony and while the guests were eating, he saw me and my girlfriend standing talking to several guests and mutual friends, and he approached us with a glass of milk with... He saw me and my girlfriend standing talking to several guests and mutual friends, and he approached us with a glass of milk in his hand. No idea why he had it, and kept commenting on me and my girlfriend. He invited me to propose to her right then, so the memory of my proposal will always be overshadowed by his wedding. Then said, "Relax, just a joke, bro." Then laughed. My girlfriend was standing next to me in her $320 dress. When my brother-in-law pointed to the left and shouted, "Look, there's a dog over there." Me, my girlfriend looked to the left, and next thing I knew, he threw milk from his glass on her dress. It was a blue dress. My girlfriend was so shocked, she froze. He started laughing, saying, "Gotcha!" I was stunned then. I asked the hell he did that for. I lashed out at him as my girlfriend rushed to clean up and called him obnoxious and mean because he shouldn't have done that. He said he was just messing with us, and my girlfriend should feel lucky for being served milk at a wedding. But my girlfriend was being too uptight and couldn't take a joke. She left looking angry and didn't respond to my calls. I was livid. After my argument with my brother-in-law, I left. The next day, I called him and my sister about what happened and told them I'm expecting him to pay $320 for the dress he ruined. He threw a fit saying it was just a prank, and my sister said milk doesn't ruin a dress and said an apology should do it. But I said no and demanded he pay $320 after humiliating and getting my girlfriend wet and messy. My sister argued, saying I'm being overprotective of my girlfriend, but I hung up, telling them they had till Friday. Am I the a-hole? Story 3. Am I the a-hole for not following my husband's new religious beliefs? I, 28 female, and my husband, 29 male, met in college and have been married for 6 years. My husband was raised in a strict evangelical household but broke away from those beliefs around the time we met. We had what I thought was a very happy marriage until my husband's father passed away in early 2021. He received a cancer diagnosis and was gone a few weeks later. My husband was and is, very understandably, completely devastated. He had remained very close to his father, despite no longer following the religious belief of his childhood. My husband decided to honor his father's memory by rejoining his church. Unfortunately, it is one of those churches that forbids many things I find fun and relatively harmless and classifies them as addictions or tools of Satan. For example, before his father's passing, my husband and I enjoyed having a glass of wine or cocktail now and then, maybe a couple times a week, and also enjoyed weed or edibles, legally, once every month or two. But after joining the church, my husband decided he was an alcoholic and drug addict. He also decided that his occasional porn use, we enjoy it together to spice things up now and then, was also an addiction. He is now insisting that I am also an addict because I don't want to give all these things up. I tried to meet him halfway. I don't care about weed and I'm fine never using again, and agreed not to drink at home if my husband truly wanted to have a sober, but said I would still want to have an occasional drink when out with friends. I will admit I like written erotica, which he never thought was a problem until he became religious. He also threw away my vibrator, saying it was an instrument of the devil. The latest is that my husband's pastor told him video games, all games, not just M-rated ones, are sinful, and now my husband is insisting I have a video game addiction and need treatment. Gaming is main hobby for me, probably around 8 to 10 hours a week. It's not an addiction in my view, just something I really enjoy. I work full-time, cook, clean, exercise, etc. I'm not neglecting anything else in my life except respect for my husband's new beliefs, I guess, by gaming. My husband wants me to start going to church with him. He says he will go to couples counseling, but only through his church, not to a secular counselor. I told him that I understand he is grieving and struggling, and I want to be kind and supportive. And if it really helps, we can keep alcohol and weed out of the house. But I am not going to become an evangelical, and like him, I was raised with atheist parents. And I'm not going to restrict myself to activities he finds acceptable under his religious beliefs. I also ask him to please stop labeling habits he doesn't like as addiction. Of course, he now thinks I am an a-hole for being mean to him while he is grieving. Most of our family members and friends also think I should do what he asks in the name of being supportive. So, am I the a-hole?